when you look at the statistics, 55% of the Aboriginal population are women. Aboriginal women, so we need to actually look at that. I think there's a lot of young Aboriginal women that are looking for role models and looking for other career opportunities. Talking to Aboriginal women in Victoria in particular, about their career aspirations and being in leadership specific roles. They don't necessarily see themselves in leadership roles. They just see that this is what we actually just do. We just get on with the job, and but we don't see it as a leadership role. And whereas men will actually see themselves in leadership roles, and government and other organisations will tend to support offering opportunities to Aboriginal men. But I think in the last 5 years in Victoria, we've actually seen more Aboriginal women taking on CEO type positions in our big Aboriginal health services, which I think is fantastic. And you can actually see with some of the data is that more money is actually going into those organisations. Aboriginal women don't tend to sell themselves enough in management type positions, like going for the salary package and the overall package. They're not selling themselves up enough, and I think that needs to change. Well, it's supporting Aboriginal women's aspirations to do anything that they want to achieve, but also support their roles in community. So they're going along, their mums, their aunties, their sisters and cousins, and they need to be supported in those roles, and they need the wider community to actually recognise them in those roles. And you can't do that unless you've gone through those programs, because it's giving Aboriginal women the opportunity to talk to other Aboriginal women about what the issues are. I think the opportunities are there, it's just that Aboriginal women aren't aware of them, and I think the Leadership Network can actually do that, so harness that and coordinate that, and get out to the Aboriginal communities and let them know what's available, and then and actually talking to Aboriginal women about what their needs and aspirations are, and what their dreams are for the future of their Aboriginal community that they live in. But they should also be encouraged to participate in mainstream leadership programs as well, because if you want to have a massive achievement within your local community, you have to actually work with non-Aboriginal people that are in those leadership and decision-making roles. Well, recent successes of Aboriginal women in leadership roles is Dr. Kerry Arabina being appointed as the Chairperson of Indigenous Health for the University of Melbourne, and knowing she's a Torres Strait Islander, and she's very, very proud that she's the first Torres Strait Islander woman to be appointed to such a role, and one of her key things, her objectives, is to encourage Aboriginal women in Victoria to aspire to their dreams and aspirations. And I think some of our other successes is seeing that young women in their 20s, Aboriginal women, are actually starting to aspire and actually talk about what their dreams and aspirations are. So we're actually seeing more Aboriginal young women talking about, I want to be like Kathy Freeman, or I want to be like Daphne Yaram. So not just looking at the worldwide stars and the sports stars, but looking at local Aboriginal women in their community to say, I want to aspire to what Arnie Joan is doing, or Arnie Daff is doing. I want to be just like them and do the same thing. Have your dream, have your aspiration, and that if you don't know where to go to actually support that dream or aspiration, Aboriginal women in your community know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody for you to actually get there. And you have to know that you can actually achieve that, just like any other non-Aboriginal person in your community. Everyone can be a leader, but it's being a really successful leader and actually having really good outcomes for yourself as an individual, your family and your community, that's important.